Hi, my name is Terry Whitney, and I'm running for Township Supervisor here in Independence Township. I come to you not because I want to be supervisor, but because somebody who is a leader needs to be in charge of Independence Township. The recent failings of the current administration are significant. Needless to say, you can look at any online video for the last 18 months and see these significant failings. You can also look at the development over off Walden and see that your hard-earned tax dollars are going to pay for something that you probably don't want. To the point of we are now going to, as a township, going to spend $600,000 because our current leadership could not look at a contract. Instead, during the final phases of that contract, they were upstairs doing a photo op with a boxer. Think about that. Our current township leadership would rather do photo ops for various news outlets and international news organizations than hear the issues and enforce the code that our township so desperately needs enforced. We have various environmental problems with the development going on around the township. Jose says, hey, you know what, I didn't find any wrong. Well, I've gone ahead and contacted the EPA on behalf of the township because I think there is a problem. 7 months have gone by since Jose was notified of these problems. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks that the EPA and Michigan's Department of Natural Resources will take some form of action against the township to get some problems enforced over off Sashaba near the Tim Hortons. There's some significant problems with erosion control and potentially PFCs leaking into the groundwater. Furthermore, last night, the meeting on 6/18 was a disaster. The supervisor decided to turn into a 10-minute political speech to attack another board member. Now, I understand, politics enrages everybody. Politics becomes personal, and it shouldn't be, but it does. We are humans, that's what we do. But to spend 10 minutes of our tax dollars and completely remove somebody who spent weeks upon weeks trying to get their item on the agenda for his 10-minute attack against a board member who texted him, regardless of the content of the text, if one of my grandkids came up and said, hey, somebody's texting me and I don't like what they have to say, I'd grab their phone, press the button, block, and move on and tell them don't talk to them anymore. But that's what our township governance is become. We need something better. We need enforcement. We need proactive leadership. And that's what I offer. The city has become paperless, but yet if somebody asks for a copy of a paper, the current leadership's worried about the cost to the developer. Really? If a developer can't pay for a piece of paper or an extra couple copies of paper, they really shouldn't be developing anything anywhere because they just don't have the means to keep it up. Further, our township, when we actually look at what has gone on in the last 2 years, what has gone on? Well, we have a gigantic catastrophe of a market going in place, multiple car accidents every single day, a board that completely voted against hiring 2 additional EMS personnel and some police funding. And why did they do that? I don't know. I really don't, considering there's an auto accident every single day. And the long-term burnout on our firefighters and EMS personnel, it's hard to do that job in particular, but it's even harder to do that job when you have to do it continuously on a reduced personnel. Further, we look at the township and we're all, we love nature. Everybody here lives in this township because we don't want it overdeveloped, because it's green, because it's beautiful, and because we care about, the greenery. But we don't seem to have that in the current administration whatsoever. Our parks, they say they're being cleaned up, they're not being enforced, they're not being cleaned up. Go ahead and just take a look. Go wander down to any of them today. Does making sense, does having a porta potty near a gigantic body of water make sense to you? To me, it looks like, one very bad accident away from an EPA disaster. They'll shut down the lake for years. I don't want that. I guarantee nobody else wants that. But that's the kind of administration we have, one that just doesn't think forward. So I'm here to tell you how I want to fix this township. First and foremost, I work for an international organization, very high up in the IT leadership. I service all of North America. I have multiple people reporting to me, and we have multiple workflow automation projects going on. At any given time, I'm handling 20 plus projects and multiple staff, not to mention we have an international presence, which we also handle sometimes, depending on the workload. Over the 20 plus years that I've been doing this type of work, I've dealt with budgets of every size and every consistency, but the one thing that comes to mind is, out of the 20 plus years I've been doing it, 25 to be exact, I've never gone over budget, and I've always delivered a result. Because in business, if you don't deliver a good that you set out to do, you're fired. You go out of work. I mean, in the automotive industry, for example, tens of thousands of people work tirelessly to come up with a new car every single year. 500 plus people go to work manufacturing it to produce tens of thousands of hours to produce one vehicle. I mean, the amount of time it is involved to build one is amazing. So when I look at our township and I go, okay, well, here's how we can fix this. Well, here we go. I'm looking towards you to help me fix this township. We're going to automate most of the township. We're going to add accountability and responsibility back to this township. If you file a complaint with the township, it's going to be tracked. You're going to get a serial number. You're going to find out exactly what stage that serial number is at, and you're going to have a point of contact so that you can fix that. And if you're not getting anywhere with that, you're going to have my cell number. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and call me, 248-722-6582. Because that's leadership, accountability, responsibility. We don't have that at all. Then you look at, well, what else? What other things can we do? Well, I look at AI. 3+ years I've been developing various AI projects. They don't replace people. What they do is they help you add metrics to make people more efficient. By metrics, I mean you get to find out who's not necessarily doing their job and who's doing their job so well that you wish you could clone 10 of them to do the same job because they're phenomenal individuals. We need to bring that to this township. Why? Because right now they're at a 4-day work week. We're the only city in the state, if not the United States, that is closed on Friday for the convenience of the employees. And when I've just off the cuff asked various board members why they did that, they're like, well, it's because we need to attract and retain employees, and that's what's happening in the private sector. The private sector goes out of business. The private sector, if it doesn't produce a result, fails, and it's just gone. Businesses come and go. Governments don't come and go. City townships, even when their budget completely fails in the state, they're still here. The employees, for instance, in Pontiac, budget failure in 2008, I believe, appointed city manager, they're still there. Some are still some of them are coming close to retirement. But closing our city and closing our government down on Friday just because it's convenient for some folks, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me for all. It doesn't work for you. You should be demanding, where's your tax dollars actually going? Which brings me to another point. We all overpaid in the city $2 million. There's supposed to be a great development. They're supposed to enhance all this various roadway. They didn't do it. So they're supposed to refund the $2 million. Well, our board decided to keep the money. And then to distract all of you, and this is just political theater, they decided to pass a ridiculous chicken ordinance. Nobody in this township is being attacked by flocks of wild chickens. Nobody is running a condo, a chicken farm out of their condo, because that would fall under the homeowners association. But that's what the city has done. That's what our board has done. They are distracting you from every little thing so that you hopefully forget about the fact that they owe you a refund check. So moving forward, I want you to think why you want to vote for whoever you're going to vote for, but I want you to vote for me because I'm going to fix this mess